What's up, everybody? It's your man, Sean Zittel, getting ready to cover Tim Tszyu's workout today for the IBF Super Welterweight title fight. But Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Davis is officially official now. And so, of course, I'd post my reaction. And I want to start by saying shout out to Lamont Roach. He's a world champion, as we all know, at 130. And he's a world champion who's kind of come up in boxing the hard way. Had a fight on Pro Box recently. Was a slight underdog against Hector Garcia, beat him. So Lamont Roach is a good fighter, but and I'm happy to see a fighter like Lamont Roach, who's had to come up the blue collar way, get a big opportunity, get a big payday. But now that I've said that, it's an underwhelming fight, and everybody's saying that because it's true. And this is a fight that would have made more sense for Gervonta Davis a couple years ago, back when Gary Russell was rumored as an opponent. And this would be, like a good DMV rivalry, two guys from the DMV area. But in 2024, when Tank's already headlined a lot of pay-per-views, it's underwhelming. And, before the Gervonta Davis fans try to come at my throat, I get it. Lomachenko walked away from the table. Of course, that's after, some years earlier of Tank saying he wasn't interested in that fight. Fight was never officially negotiated by Top Rank or PBC, but for years, Gervonta had no real intention of fighting Lomachenko. And now Lomachenko has walked away from the table now that the fight's available. I understand that. I understand Shakur Stevenson really is opting more the Williams Zepeda route. I understand that Teofimo Lopez has only really called Davis out once the Lamont Roach fight was really being talked about around Canelo Berlanga fight week and was close to probably being finalized. And Teofimo knows he's in litigation with Top Rank. So he knows that they can't really make that fight happen. So it's kind of just all talk from Teofimo. And then Raul Valenzuela too. Raul Valenzuela, I think it was Robert Garcia, someone in his camp said November would be too quick a turnaround, November, December. So that fight's off the table. So I get all that. I get all the context that gets Tank Davis off the hook, but I'm not going for that because by his own admission, he's one of the faces of boxing, certainly in the United States. And with that comes the responsibility. Just like people were underwhelmed by Canelo Alvarez fighting Edgar Berlanga. They want to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. They want to see him fight Terrence Crawford or a rematch with Dimitri Bivol. Same thing with Gervonta Davis. They want to see him fight Shakur, Teofimo, Lomachenko, someone like that, right? And you have to have some accountability that goes with that, because at the end of the day, he's about to turn 30 years old and he's beating some good fighters. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he hasn't beaten a fellow elite pound for pound fighter. And he's going to turn 30. He's going to escape his 20s without actually accomplishing that feat, fighting someone else who's on the pound for pound list. So good for Lamont Roach. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve an opportunity like this at some point, but it's an underwhelming fight. And Gervonta has to take the responsibility of, okay, if you are one of the big dogs in boxing, and he is, then you have to accept the responsibility of some of the backlash from an underwhelming opponent. And, a lot of athletes do this. They out of two sides, one side, I don't give a shit what these people think, but on the other side, when the criticism comes, they're offended by it. They don't have anything good to say about it. So obviously, it does matter. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Sean Zittel, getting ready. So obviously it does matter. And just like Teofimo, Shakur, Lomachenko, they haven't exactly convinced me or the public that they really want to fight Gervonta Davis. I don't think myself or the public are that convinced he really, really wants to fight them. And he has leverage being a draw at the box office that he is. So my challenge to Gervonta in 2025 is make it happen. You bring the money to the table. I know you can't tie someone up and force them to get in the ring with you, but you have the response. With great power comes great responsibility. He's one of the faces of boxing now in 2024, heading into 2025. Make it happen in 2025. Call these guys up if you have to. I guess Spence and Crawford talked on the phone to help make a fight happen. So do what you got to do. Throw your weight around. Make one of these guys get in the ring. Call them out, because again, I'm not convinced that I'm not letting off these other guys off the hook. You can't do this whataboutism where you just pick one side or the other. Oh, well, Tank's ducking Shakur, or Shakur's ducking Tank. No, they both got to come together and realistically show the boxing world they want to happen. Because fighters always tell us if two guys want to fight, then the promoters and all that shit can't really get in the way. So that's the challenge to Gervonta Davis. May the best man win in Houston with Lamont Roach. Happy he's getting an opportunity. But should Gervonta Davis wins, like everybody expects, then in 2025, it's beyond time to fight someone else on the pound for pound list. So, oh, and another reason why it's kind of underwhelming too is Premier Boxing Champions is the only American boxing promotional company that hasn't fully linked up with Riyadh season yet. And if their goal, and I support this goal, is to try to remain an independent American company and stave off Turki Al-Sheikh's massive wealth and influence, then you have to put on better fights more consistently than Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. So that's it. You're trying to fend off this huge money from Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season. Top Rank has, joined forces with them. Matchroom USA has joined forces with them. Golden Boy's joined forces with them. PBC sent a few fighters over in that August 3rd card, Terrence Crawford, Madrimal, but they're still, to their credit, being an independent American company. But this is part of why in boxing, Turki Al-Sheikh has been able to come in and make big headway in America, is because too often these underwhelming fights are made that people would rather see something else. And that's not to say the fight's still not going to sell. Davis is a draw. I've said that a number of times here. But it's not the fight not just hardcore boxing fans want. Will people show up and sell out Houston? Yes. Will people buy the pay-per-view to a certain degree? Yes. But more people would spend more money if it was a better fight. And those are the kind of fights that got to happen, to help Premier Boxing Champions remain independent of that expanding sphere of influence and wealth from Riyadh season. So just my 2 cents. Peace.